I should have known something was off the moment my husband mentioned the party. He was never the type to enjoy big social gatherings. We were both homebodies, spending most nights curled up on the couch, watching old movies. So when he casually brought it up over dinner, saying, "It'll be fun, just a little get-together," I was surprised, but I didn't question it. Maybe he was trying to do something different for once, and honestly, I was craving a change too. The night of the party, everything felt normal at first. I picked out a simple but elegant dress, did my makeup, and tried to shake the uneasy feeling that had settled in my stomach. My husband, on the other hand, seemed unusually excited. I noticed the way he kept glancing at his phone, sending quick messages, smiling to himself. When I asked what was so interesting, he just shrugged. "Just making sure everything's set," he said. The drive there was quiet, and as we pulled up to the house, my stomach flipped. It wasn't at a restaurant or a friend's place. It was a massive, luxurious estate on the outskirts of town, the kind of place you only see in movies. The driveway was packed with expensive cars, and the glow of golden lights spilled from the towering windows. "Whose house is this?" I asked. My husband hesitated before answering. "Just an old friend." That's when I knew he was lying. I didn't push him, but something about the way he avoided my eyes made my pulse quicken. As we stepped inside, I was immediately overwhelmed. The place was stunning: high ceilings, sparkling chandeliers, and elegantly dressed guests mingling with drinks in hand. But there was something else in the air, something unspoken. The energy felt off. People turned to look at us as we entered, not in a welcoming way, but as if they had been waiting. I tightened my grip on my husband's arm. "Are you sure we should be here?" I whispered. He just smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Relax," he said. "Just enjoy the night." A waiter appeared, offering us drinks. My husband took his without hesitation. I hesitated before accepting mine. As I sipped, I couldn't shake the feeling that everyone knew something I didn't. Conversations around me were hushed, laughter sounded forced, and every time I met someone's gaze, they quickly looked away. Then, something strange happened. My husband excused himself to talk to someone across the room, leaving me alone near the bar. As I stood there, I felt a presence behind me. Before I could turn around, a deep voice murmured, "You don't know, do you?" I spun around, my heart racing. A man I had never seen before stood there, watching me with an expression I couldn't read. My hands tightened around my glass. "Know what?" I asked. He smirked, shaking his head. "You'll find out soon enough." And in that moment, I realized this wasn't just a party. It was something else entirely, and I wasn't sure I wanted to know the truth. I swallowed hard, my fingers tightening around my glass as I studied the man in front of me. There was something unsettling about the way he looked at me, not threatening, but like he knew something I didn't. My mind raced with questions. Who was he? What did he mean? But before I could ask, he simply gave me a knowing look and walked away, disappearing into the crowd. My chest felt tight. I scanned the room, searching for my husband, but he was nowhere to be seen. A strange pressure settled in my stomach, like I was standing in the middle of something I didn't understand. The conversations around me felt distant, muffled, like I wasn't really there. I moved through the crowd, brushing past groups of elegantly dressed guests who all seemed far too familiar with each other. Laughter echoed, glasses clinked, but underneath it all, I could feel it. Something was off. The air was thick with an unspoken tension, a quiet understanding that I wasn't a part of. Then I heard my name, not loudly, not in conversation, just a whisper, a voice too soft to place but clear enough that it sent a chill down my spine. I spun around, but no one was looking at me. My heartbeat pounded in my ears. Maybe I was imagining it. Maybe it was just the energy of the place getting to me. I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself. Then I saw my husband. He was standing near the grand staircase, deep in conversation with a woman I didn't recognize. She was beautiful, effortlessly poised, and the way she leaned into him, speaking in hushed tones, made something twist inside me. My husband wasn't just listening, he was focused, too focused. I started toward them, my heels clicking against the marble floor, but before I could reach him, another hand gently touched my arm. "Don't," a voice whispered. I turned to see an older woman, her expression unreadable. She gave a small, almost pitying smile. "You don't want to interrupt them." Confusion swirled inside me. "Why?" She glanced toward my husband and the woman before looking back at me. "Because this isn't just a party," she said softly. "And you're not here by accident." My breath caught. "What are you talking about?" She hesitated, as if choosing her words carefully. "Just be careful," she finally said. "Not everything is as it seems." Before I could say another word, she walked away, leaving me standing there with my pulse racing, my mind spinning. I turned back toward my husband, but now he was gone. Panic started creeping in as I scanned the crowded room, searching for my husband. He had been standing there just moments ago, deep in conversation with that woman, and now he was gone. My breathing quickened. Something wasn't right. I pushed through the guests, my mind racing with possibilities. The older woman's words echoed in my head. "You're not here by accident." What did that mean? Was this party more than what it seemed? And why did I feel like I was the only one who didn't understand what was happening? I reached the staircase where I had last seen him, but there was no sign of him or the woman. Instead, a man in a dark suit was standing at the base of the stairs, watching me. His expression was unreadable, but there was something unsettling about the way he didn't look away when our eyes met. My stomach twisted. Was he waiting for me? I hesitated, then turned in the other direction, deciding to check the other rooms instead. The house was massive, filled with elegantly decorated spaces, but something about it felt cold. The laughter and music in the main hall felt distant now, like background noise in a dream. I finally found a hallway that was noticeably quieter, dimly lit, and lined with closed doors. My footsteps echoed as I walked down it, my pulse hammering with every step. One of the doors was slightly ajar. I swallowed hard and pushed it open. Inside, the room was empty, except for a single phone sitting on the table. My husband's phone. I reached for it with shaking hands, but before I could touch it, I heard a voice behind me. "I was hoping you wouldn't come back here." I froze. The voice was calm, almost too composed, but there was something chilling about it. Slowly, I turned around. The man from the staircase stood in the doorway, his eyes locked onto mine. He didn't move, didn't blink, just watched me like he had been expecting this moment. My heart pounded as I took a step back, my mind scrambling for an explanation. "Where is my husband?" My voice was steadier than I felt. The man tilted his head slightly, as if amused by the question. "You shouldn't be here," he said. "This part of the house isn't for guests." I glanced down at the phone, my husband's phone, lying so innocently on the table. My fingers itched to grab it, to check for any clues, but something told me I wouldn't get the chance. I forced myself to meet the man's gaze. "Then why is his phone here?" He didn't answer right away. Instead, he took a slow step forward, closing the distance between us. The air in the room felt heavy, thick with unspoken words. "Because he left it," he finally said. "And you need to leave too." My stomach twisted. The way he said it, like a warning, like a command, sent a chill down my spine. But I wasn't leaving without answers. I swallowed hard. Not until I see my husband. For the first time, something flickered in his expression. Not anger, not frustration, something else. Pity. A lump formed in my throat. "You really don't understand, do you?" he murmured. I didn't get the chance to respond. A sudden noise from behind me, a door creaking open. I spun around just as footsteps echoed through the hallway. And then I saw him. My husband. But he wasn't alone. My breath caught in my throat as my husband stepped into the dimly lit hallway. His face was unreadable, his expression eerily calm. But my eyes weren't just on him. They were on the woman standing beside him, the same woman he had been speaking to earlier, the one who had leaned in too close, whispered too softly. She didn't look surprised to see me. If anything, she looked pleased. Something inside me snapped. "What is going on?" My voice shook, but I didn't care. I had been patient long enough. The tension, the whispers, the warnings. I needed answers. My husband exhaled slowly, his gaze shifting toward the man still standing behind me. There was an unspoken exchange between them, something I couldn't decipher. Then, finally, he spoke. "You weren't supposed to see this." "See what?" The words sent a sharp chill down my spine. I looked between them, searching for any sign of familiarity, any clue to what I had stumbled into. But the longer I stood there, the more I realized I was the only one in the dark. My husband, the woman, the man by the door, they all knew something I didn't. "I deserve to know the truth," I said, my voice stronger this time. The woman took a step forward, her heels clicking against the polished floor. She studied me like I was something fragile, something that needed to be handled carefully. "The truth?" she echoed, tilting her head. "Are you sure you're ready for that?" I swallowed hard, but I didn't back down. She exchanged a glance with my husband before turning back to me, a slow smile spreading across her lips. "All right," she said, "but remember, you asked for this." Then she reached into her purse and pulled out something small. A key. My husband didn't stop her. My pulse pounded as she walked to a door at the end of the hallway, slid the key into the lock, and turned it. The door creaked open, revealing a staircase leading downward, a dark, winding descent into the unknown. I looked at my husband, but he wouldn't meet my eyes. The woman gestured toward the stairs. "Go on," she said. "See for yourself." Every instinct in me screamed to turn around, to leave and never look back. But I couldn't. Not now. So I took a breath, steadied myself, and stepped forward. My heart pounded as I stepped onto the first stair, the air growing colder with every step I took. The woman followed behind me, her presence heavy, while my husband lingered at the top of the stairs, silent. The dim glow from a single light bulb flickered as I reached the bottom, revealing a large room, one that felt strangely prepared, as if it had been waiting for me. At the center stood a table. On it, a single folder. The woman walked past me, her heels clicking against the concrete floor, and placed her hand on the folder. "Everything you need to know is in here," she said, sliding it toward me. I hesitated, my fingers trembling as I reached for it. The moment I flipped it open, my breath caught. Inside were photographs of me. Me at the grocery store, me sitting alone at cafes, me walking in and out of my own home. Page after page, my entire life laid out in eerie detail. My stomach twisted. "What is this?" I whispered. The woman smiled, but there was no warmth in it. "Your husband has been keeping secrets," she said, "and so have you." I snapped my head toward my husband, my mind spinning. "What is she talking about?" He finally spoke, his voice low. I had to know the truth. The truth? About me? A deep chill settled over me. "You've been following me?" He shook his head. "Not me. Them." He gestured toward the woman. "I hired them." I stared at him in disbelief. Why? His jaw tightened. Because I thought you were lying to me. The words cut deeper than I expected. About what? The woman answered for him. About who you really are. Before I could process what she meant, she reached into the folder and pulled out one last photo. It was different from the others, grainy, black and white, older, but the face in it was unmistakable. Mine. My blood ran cold. This was taken 20 years ago, the woman said. Before you even met your husband. I shook my head. That's impossible. And yet, there I was. Same face, same eyes. The room spun around me. Nothing made sense anymore. And worst of all, the way my husband looked at me now, it wasn't with anger. It wasn't even betrayal. It was fear. I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. I just stared at the photo, my mind refusing to accept what I was seeing. 20 years ago. That wasn't possible. I wasn't even that old. But the face in the picture was mine. Unchanged. Unaged. I looked up at my husband, searching for some kind of reassurance, some explanation that made sense. But all I saw in his eyes was fear, not of them, of me. I don't understand, I whispered, my voice barely audible. This has to be a mistake. The woman sighed, almost like she felt sorry for me. That's what they all say at first, she murmured. They. My stomach twisted. Who are you? I demanded. Why are you showing me this? She exchanged a glance with the man standing in the shadows, the one who had been watching me all night. He stepped forward now, his expression unreadable. We've been tracking cases like yours for years, he said. People who don't realize who they are or what they are. A shiver ran through me. What are you saying? The woman closed the folder with a quiet snap. That you've lived this life before. The words sent a jolt through me. That's ridiculous. She tilted her head, studying me. Is it? She asked. Tell me, do you ever feel like you've lived certain moments before? Like everything is happening in a pattern, like no matter what you do, you end up in the same place? My breath caught. I had felt that. Déjà vu so strong it sometimes left me dizzy. But that didn't mean... No, it wasn't possible. I turned back to my husband. You believe this? His hands clenched at his sides. I don't know what to believe anymore, he admitted. But I know one thing, I can't keep living like this, wondering who you really are. A sharp pain twisted in my chest. He wasn't angry. He wasn't accusing me of anything. He was just lost. And suddenly, so was I. I looked at the folder one last time, then back at the two strangers who had led me here. Maybe they were lying. Maybe this was some elaborate trick. Or maybe, just maybe, there was something inside me I wasn't ready to remember. Either way, one thing was clear. Nothing would ever be the same again.